Access to quality education enables children to develop and flourish. Educated children have more confidence in themselves and their abilities. They acquire the keys to solving everyday problems and preparing for their future. Good morning to you, viewers, and welcome to today's edition of non-streaming morning show on ACNNTV. I am Princess Clement, your anchor for today's program. As usual, I'm not alone in the studio. With me is the Venerable Joseph Onaya, JP. He is the Director of Civic and Political Affairs of the Church of Nigeria and Chaplain to the National Assembly. Also with us is Chioma Onyenuchea Ugu, Chairperson, the International Federation of Female Lawyers, FIDA, Nigeria, Abuja chapter. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
I'm
happy to have you. You look gorgeous.
Thank you.
And Venerable, you look good.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have you. All right, viewers, don't forget to call in to give your contribution using the phone number on your screen or send your comments to our various social media platforms. If you're just joining us, this is still non-streaming morning show on ACNNTV. Today's special discussion is on the International Day of Education 2025 with the theme, AI and Education, Human Agency in an Automated World. As we celebrate this significant day, we are reminded of the importance of education in empowering individuals, communities, and the entire societies. Today, we will be exploring the challenges and opportunities in education with a focus on the girl child. Still with me is the Venerable Joseph Onaya, JP. He is the Director of Civic and Political Affairs of the Church of Nigeria and the Chaplain to the National Assembly. Also with us is Chioma Onyenuchea Ugu, Chairperson, the International Federation of Female Lawyers, FIDA, Nigeria, Abuja branch. Welcome to the studio. I'm sorry I murdered your name. Apologizing already. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. All right, we'll go straight into the discussion of the day, which is all about education. We all know that the importance of education cannot be overemphasized, and I'm happy we have the right hands in the house. All right, the first I will have to attend to here is, do you think everyone should get educated?
But of course, I mean, that's that goes without saying.
Okay.
Everybody needs to be educated. Of course, when we talk about education, I think maybe some of the errors we have in our society may be in the form of education we think people need. But everybody does need education, and we are mindful that this education can be, while a structured education helps because it helps in developing the right curriculum, it helps in creating the right, opportunities, exposure for people generally. But I think it's about time that we gradually begin to also improve on and expand on the scope of our educational focus as we have it. So, but yes, everybody needs to be educated, and I like that we have the universal basic education in Nigeria. Can we make that truly universal and qualitative? Because what you find is that where this, the government schools that offer the free education, as we call it, it's not really as free. And because it's not quite as free, it is not available to everybody. And then even the schools that do offer it, oftentimes they're not qualitative. They don't have the right kind of teachers. They don't have the right, study environment. They don't have security and all of those. There are just many reasons why the quality of education you get from even the universal education is poor and not quite education in the real sense of it. So I think that everybody deserves an opportunity and should be educated, and not just education, quality and education that is tailored to meet the needs of a developing world as we have it today.
All right, thank you very much, Choma. Venerable, she made mention of the fact that the state of education in our country is poor. Can you comment on this?
Yeah, that is very glaring. I agree entirely with our sister that the state of education in Nigeria is poor. Let's start from the learning environment. If you go to some schools, so-called schools, during rainy season, rain will be falling and people will be running up and down inside the class. I think before the Edo election, the governorship election, so much was showed in the television about the state of schools in that state, and that happened to be my state. And it was touching that in this modern time, students are lying flat on the floor to write. What kind of environment is that, and what kind of learning do you expect people to get in such environment? That is one. Then the issue of teachers. I can tell you, people are running from one private school to the other, but when you do audit in these schools, you discover that most of the teachers are not qualified. I've seen a particular private school where my first son was then, and I attended the PTA. They hijacked me and said I should be the PTA advisor. So I decided to move for this audit of teachers. And I discovered most of the teachers were awaiting their WAEC result. And they were parading them as teachers in such expensive private schools, awaiting results.
They don't even have
the basic educational qualification that is required to teach.
Teachers are preparing students for WAEC and NECO.
And when you look at the operational model, you just discover that it is all about business.
That's what it is.
When the teacher is told that if you cannot collect all the school fees from the student within the first 1 week of resumption, you start to lose one thing or the other, and they focus on that. Once they are done with collection of school fees, no one cares about what goes on after that. So the quality of education is very, and it's playing out. How many of our students who leave secondary school are able to read and write fluently, speak fluently, and all that is a reflection of what is happening in the four walls of schools. So that is one aspect. Then the remuneration has also affected the quality, the salary of teacher. I beg to say, we preach heaven, that we all will be rewarded in heaven, and teachers, it's not only teachers that will be rewarded. In fact, a teacher that is not a Christian, that did not surrender to the Lord, will not make heaven. So that is a different thing entirely. So everyone should be preparing to go to heaven. So people should be rewarded. So it's if you pay them well, there will be incentive for them to put in more into teaching. If you see what is going on in school, because of the poor remuneration, everyone is devising means to collect one thing or the other. For instance, my maid yesterday came to me and said, "Daddy, we are told that we must bring packer to school today, and it's compulsory." I say, "How many of you were asked to bring packer?" He said, all of us in the class. How many of you in that class? Say 65. So what is school going to do with a 65? I said, okay, somebody want to open a side business in Wuse, packer business. So you just see teachers putting hand here and there, and so the quality is not there. Now look at, I don't know, I think my sister here is aged enough to maybe have a picture of what I'm about to say. Now, some of us did not have extra lecture when we were in school. All these things they are doing, extra lecture, home lecture. Even some of us came out from background where parents cannot even afford that. But most of the people in this set came out with grades that when you see their result, you know, yes, this one have been educated.
And they're able to defend it wherever they find themselves.
Yeah, they defend it. But look at all sorts of programs in school about money, extra lecture, this one, everything all about money. So the quality is not there. So I agree entirely that there's need to look into, the quality of education. You asked our sister a question at the beginning on this discourse, whether everyone should be educated.
Yes.
Look, uneducated man is a crude man. Is education brings civilization. Education refines people. You see, that is why I keep telling people, if you bring two tailor, one is a graduate and one is uneducated, the difference will be clear like 7 up. You will see their handwork. The finishing will tell you that this one is not educated. This one went to school. That is what education is. And so it should be made available to all, and it should be of quality, and it should be tailored towards productivity, not the kind of education in Nigeria that is tailored towards speaking English. Carrying just fire.
Not even speaking English, sir. I think our education is so focused on certification. Such that however people procure the certificate justifies the outcome for them. So you'll find even parents who are willing to pay for their children to earn a certificate. You find people who will sleep with lecturers to get their certificate. You find people who will do whatever, it takes just to get a certificate, except doing that which is the right thing of sitting down and learning, equipping themselves. And then you find that when they come out with this certificate, they are clueless as to what next to do with it. So you see that the education we have, the education that our children are offered, is not an education that is tailored to meet the needs of the present realities. It is not an education that, engages the mind towards productivity. I like the expression of productivity, sir, which you referenced, because if the education we practice here is only for the extent of getting the certification and then awaiting somebody to create a job opportunity or to create an innovation that then employs one, that is no education. Because an educated mind is an innovative mind. An educated mind is a curious mind. An educated mind is a mind that is that is given to inventions. Well, it's not all about sciences, whichever area it is. You find that even those who read some of the, specialized courses, though they have read it in school, when you merge them with those who didn't go to school at all, but gained some kind of skills, informal education that equip them with the skills for that specialized. Sometimes the one who didn't even go to any formal school
performs better.
Do you understand? So I think our education curriculum should be rejigged. It must begin to be focused on expected outcomes. What are the outcomes we want? We want children, we want students who have been educated to gain the right tools, the right skills, the right knowledge that will equip them to run from that knowledge they have, to hit the ground running from the knowledge they have acquired, without waiting for anybody to now start creating one job for them. And it's just a circle that doesn't quite show that we are as educated as we ought to.
Thank you very much for your contribution. I think the issue of education in Nigeria, it's something we've been flogging. But then the fact still remains the same, that the world would blame the teachers. Of course, I'm a teacher by profession too. My first degree was in education before I proceeded into journalism. Now, the fact is, teachers are doing their best. I am not against the fact that some teachers, we are not going to generalize, some teachers are not doing what is necessary. And like Venerable said, there are some teachers that don't even have the qualification. What is the minimum level of qualification we are talking about here? We're talking about NCE. That first certificate, a lot of teachers don't even have it, let alone having a B.Ed, let alone proceeding into master's or PhD or what have you. But then, it's not totally the fault of the teacher. What happens to those employing them?
Sorry, can I a
big problem. Because what? He said something, sorry, I will answer you. He said something about people looking for money. It's majorly for businesses. A lot of schools are open not with the concrete determination or focus on why. Purpose. What is your purpose for opening a school should be one of the concern, and also the children should be the major concern of every school owner. Why did you open the school? Is it for the parents to come and throw in money? Is it for these children to come out brilliantly? You laid emphasis on the fact that teaching is more theoretical than practical. Of course, there are lots of people who did apprenticeship. That is your emphasis. Yes, they come out very good, better than those that have acquired PhD, as mighty as the name may sound, but then it is not totally the fault of the individual. I think those issuing all those certificates need to be cautioned. And this discussion is coming at a point whereby we are about to write WAEC, JAM, and what have you, NECO, NAPTEP, and the rest of them. I think parents need to be very conscious of what they are doing. Are you fighting for the success or the betterment of your children tomorrow, or you are just about the paper? The paper is the certificate being issued. A lot of parents are not doing the right thing. You're free to still comment your view on this.
You were, trying to hold a brief of teachers, being one yourself, saying that indeed, while the quality of teachers may not be as it ought to, that is not the fault of the teachers. It's a two-way.
Of course.
Yes. So, for those who are teachers so-called, many of them are not really teachers. But for commercial reasons, for profit reasons, people who run schools, particularly those who run the private schools, just employ whoever. The example given by Venerable of persons who were awaiting results, yet being called teachers. Those people were not teachers.
Yeah,
really.
they are not.
They were just employed to fill that role, but they are not qualified. They are not qualified. They are not even. They are not professional. They are not teachers.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Yes. Though they were assigned that role.
I am begging for this to be corrected.
They are not teachers. And then for those who are teachers themselves. One point Venerable made, which I totally agree with, was the issue of remuneration. And I want to even, look at it on a broader scale. Beyond just the remuneration of whatever it is we pay a teacher, which is very sad, which is shameful. How do we want to encourage the right minds, the people with the right qualification, to pursue a career in education, pursue a career in teaching, when we make it a lowly profession, when we make it a last resort profession, when we make it a profession for those who are given only to humanitarian service or charity, if you know what I mean? Until we raise that critical profession to the dignity, to the status it deserves, as a profession that shapes and molds the mind of the society, that equips our society for today and tomorrow. Until we realize that, then we will not be able to have the right people offer themselves to that very noble, calling. So I think it's important that even as a society, what are the things that we celebrate? Look at when people set programs, when they plan programs where maybe children come to do, or people generally maybe where they're doing a pageantry, they are doing beauty, they are doing fashion, they are doing some other entertainment competition. Look at the stakes. Look at the prize sums. Look at the gifts, the things people, what are the stakes people stand to gain? That is how you cultivate, that is how you water and, encourage interest. Do you understand?
Yes.
And then the people who are interested in those things are many, because the stakes are high.
Yes.
The benefits are high.
Yes.
Then look at when there is a competition or anything that has to do with education, cerebral thinking, intellectual work. It is almost nothing. Maybe 100,000 naira, and they'll do a very big whatever to come. No. Even the prize.
I understand that.
They come to present one big plaque or whatever to show that the person won 100,000 naira for coming first in mathematics or something. Yet another person will win as high as maybe 20 million naira for being a best dancer or a best singer. I am not undermining the value of any form of expression, any form of art expression. Do you understand? But I'm saying that if we realize that our society is diminishing by the day because of the quality of education we have, and also because of the disregard we have for the teaching profession and education generally, we will do better, so that people will begin to before now, when people talk about their role models, you will hear names of principals.
Of course.
You will hear names of educationists. How many people can even mention a principal right now?
A lot of students don't even want to hear the name teacher, teaching.
That's what I'm saying. If you ask your children, what do you want to be in future? I doubt any of them will want to be a teacher, because the role models, the people they see the society celebrate. Do you understand?
Yes,
the people they see the society celebrate, the people they see as the people who, are living a good life, the people who are worthy of being emulated. No, they're not in the mold of teachers
at all. All right, thank you very much for that. I think that is massive. I really appreciate that. A lot has been said about teaching profession, and for your child to be one and be proud, and you yourself to be proud of your child being a teacher, you need to think in this line too. We're going to watch a clip that showcases where a student or some students were appreciating a teacher, and also I'll back it up with another from Ondo State, where a governor was also rewarding or has also rewarded a teacher. All right, thank you, viewers. Thank you for staying tuned. As you can see, this is practical, this is sweet, this is interesting. Although a lot of comments are on the social media, some will be like, my principal left the group and all of that. This is commendable. Some said it is not necessary because it's going to make some students to become lazy because they believe they can actually reward a teacher to gain favor. I'm not thinking in that school of thought. I am happy to see this, at least for once. Some students are beginning to reason that their teachers shouldn't remain poor because they choose a profession. You may not give the word to your teacher, the whole word to your teacher, but at least thank you for teaching me shouldn't be a sin. Please, you're free to comment on this. So let me start with Venerable this time around. Please comment on this.
We teach people to learn to show appreciation, to learn to express gratitude, and that is what was demonstrated practically in this very video. I commend the students. It was a novel idea, and I think it will go a long way to encourage that classroom teacher, and to know that the children, the students under his tutelage are gaining from him, and they have also come to say thank you. I think it's a good one. and it's a good incentive to would-be teachers to know that if they are in that profession, they will also be appreciated. But much more than that is the issue of the remuneration, because this is just once in a blue moon, and one teacher was fortunate to get
very fortunate.
And, I wonder what will be the fate of other teachers in the school. Like what you said,
Yes.
the principal, if a principal out of annoyance
left the group,
because why should they leave him and go and appreciate a classroom teacher? After all, he was a classroom teacher before. So,
all right.
but even,
sorry, I'll have to cut you. Okay. We have a call. Okay, we lost the call.
Okay, so I think it's something to be appreciated, and it's a lesson for those in authority. I think it's a practical lesson. Those in authority should get thinking about what to do to make the life better for teachers. I think so.
Yeah, thank you very much, Venerable. Choma, please feel free to comment your view.
I agree with the perspective of appreciation and gratitude. Yes, and I mean, if you look at the items given from what I saw from the screen here, they're not items that will qualify as any form of remuneration, if you know what I mean. These are things that are perishable, things you know. Of course. So it's just to express a gesture of appreciation to a teacher who must have, gone over and above in the manner he shows concern for their well-being, helps to ensure that they understand and follow with what he teaches and all of those. And I don't also think that it will any way encourage laziness in children, in students. I don't think so. No. I don't even agree. Because assuming we're talking about maybe students bribing a teacher, this at all cannot serve as any inducement.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So for a teacher to relax standards just because his or her students
should even
brought
boost
maybe palm oil.
The standard. Yes.
No. What this tells him or her is that these minds that I am shaping today will someday grow into people who can remember what I did or failed to do.
So and even do the same or better to others.
Let us even not look at what he or she is hoping to get. It just tells him that these people who could just come do this, I need to be careful, because if I also not do good, tomorrow they may hold me accountable.
Of course, definitely.
Tomorrow they will remember that woman or that man, when he was our teacher, didn't care about, he didn't take his studies seriously. He didn't attend classes when he should, and all of those. And then the other thing I also think is that, yes, this has happened. Sometimes there are also those who may not be able to make their, show their gratitude in tangible manners, like bringing this kind of gifts. But the things they say about their teachers, sometimes you go on social media and you read people just talking about how their teacher has impacted on their lives. You understand? Those are things that will encourage people, particularly those who have taken into the teaching profession as a charitable vocation, those who have seen it as a mission. Just as you have the missionaries, there are those who are like that. Yes. This will encourage them. But it does not at all take the place or remove the importance of remunerating teachers in a manner that helps them maintain dignity.
All right, thank you very much, Choma. Let's take a comment from the social media. They said, good morning. Most of the private school owners we have today are greedy and inhuman when it comes to the teachers' remuneration after collecting huge sums from parents. Also, the incompetence and ineptitude of our leaders has paved the way for abnormalities. I think this is just about what you just spoke about, what the both of you just commented on. Thank you very much for the comments. Keep the comments coming. We appreciate this. I think you've said a lot, and you've also said so many things. The teacher or the teaching profession is something that should be rated far above what it is. The teachers are the ones molding and shaping our society. The teachers are the ones helping our children to get better. What do you think about this?
I want to react to the comment from the social media. I agree with what the person said, but I also think that the burden of, inspecting our schools, ensuring that our schools comply to best standards, lie on somebody's table.
Of
So
course,
while the
of
people
course.
who establish these schools establish it as a business venture, there is a department of government. There is a department under a ministry of government. There is a people whose duty it is
Educational
to,
bodies.
to inspect schools and ensure that these schools operate by the approved standards. The people whose duty that is are the people who are failing the society. I'm not saying that there is no burden on the school operators or the school owners, but I'm saying that they do this and get away with this because there are no consequences. Nobody holds them to account. And the person who fails to hold them to account, though that person is paid by government to ensure that the quality of education is improved on and maintained, is the one who is failing us the most.
And let me just take off from where she stopped.
Okay,
Who is to be
just-
blamed for what is going on in with private school? Is government. Why should the government school work in the first instance? You know, the advent of private school is something that just dates back to maybe 2-3 decades back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Before there were no
Because there was
private
a
school.
failure there.
There was a failure on
That
the
was what
part of
created
those
that
people
need.
that created that need. And so entrepreneurs have to
Cashed in on it.
cash in on that opportunity.
Of course, you're right about that. And I want to also add quickly the issue of the Ogun State governor who commended a teacher by name Adewale Kayode. It reads, Abiodun also promised to honor the support the teacher with a 5 million naira cash prize and a bungalow in any part of the state of his choice. The governor commended Adewale for demonstrating an unwavering commitment to educational excellence. These are the kind of things we are looking for teachers. Teachers should be rewarded. A lot of school owners, like we have been flogging, always focus on their own money, their own pocket. Can we change the narrative at least? Let the teachers also be celebrated. You will be very, very amazed at some teachers who have left school who have served for 35 years and retiring without a common bicycle, without a common house of their own, be it a bedroom flat or 2-bedroom flat. This is just commendable. I appreciate the governor, and I pray other governors and other stakeholders will take dressing from this. Let's go quickly into the question segment because of time. I want to ask you, Chioma, what innovative approaches can be used to make education more inclusive, accessible, and effective for marginalized communities? And before you answer that, just take this one to it. Are there ways technology can be leveraged to enhance education outcomes, particularly in areas with limited resources? Thank you.
Well, unfortunately, technology is, because it's still evolving, it's expensive. So because technology is expensive, it is, out of the reach of most people in marginalized groups. If you look at girls in rural areas or children in rural areas generally, if you look at children from poor homes, many of them are unable to afford access to digital opportunities and to technology generally. So I think that is also where government and public-spirited individuals come in. It's important that just as there are opportunities created by way of competitions or challenges, or even just grants and donations made for various other ventures of life, can some of that be targeted towards helping children from poorer homes, from rural communities, to access opportunities to learn with their peers? Because sometimes there are children who are displaced maybe because of conflicts in their societies and because of insecurities. Many of them are not able to go to the conventional schools. I'm not saying that maybe having a laptop or having some center where they can access virtual learnings is easily obtainable, but we can work towards that. Then the other thing I want to say is, it is important that across states we condemn child marriage and also those things that make it difficult for children, particularly girls, to be retained in school.
Yes, talking about girls, thank you very much. I am happy you're commenting on that already, because I was about asking you same question. Is it appropriate to neglect education, the education of the girl child?
It cannot be. The first answer I gave when we commenced was that everybody should be educated.
Of course.
So that it already says that even girls, just as everybody else, must be educated.
Right.
So I am saying that because of the peculiarities, because of the challenges girls suffer, it is important that we also, tailor educational services to meet the needs of the girl child.
All right.
Including, one of the things that I'm very particular about is, we know that as our girls are in school, some of them every month, as they go into puberty and go into adolescence, have to deal with, monthly periods and all of those. That is a big issue in some homes, in some communities. Girls are not able to go to school just because they cannot keep themselves, under proper hygiene within that period.
Thank you very much, Oma. I beg you, because of time, we'll not be able to attend to all your comments. Now, we'll go to Venerable. Please, what are the persistent barriers to girls' education in Nigeria? And how do you think we can address this? And again, how can we ensure that girls' education is not only accessible, but also relevant, effective and empowering, preparing them for a rapidly changing world? Please, you can just say this in a few seconds, because we are almost out of time.
Tradition. There are some communities where they feel that a girl should not go to school, and where the girl is supposed to be in school, they are already arranging to marry her out and things like that. So I think that is one of the major barriers. And of course, finance, that is funding. The most communities, especially the rural areas, you see the parents are so poor that they cannot afford to send all their children to school, and that brings in the question of selection. You see somebody having 2 male child and maybe 2 female children, saying, okay, these ones will marry and go, let me send the male one that will stay here to score. Those kind of biases, some of the barriers that the girl child is facing. And to promote that, I think government need to be deliberate. Yes, government need to be deliberate and make policies that will make education accessible to both male and female children equally. Let me say this. I know I'm on air. I've looked at all my children. The only girl among them is the most intelligent among them. So I cannot afford not to allow her to go to school.
I'll take that as your last comment.
Not yet.
And
because of time. Because of time.
So, speaking from what Venerable has just said, you see, there are certain discriminatory laws and practices that we allow, which also enable some of these harmful traditional beliefs and stereotypes. Now, when you find that, ordinarily, everybody should be able to aspire equally in Nigeria on a level playing ground, right? But you find that oftentimes, because a woman is not from a certain community, she got married into that community, they refuse to accord her full indigenship of that community. Now, this is a community where she lives for the rest of her life, procreate and all of those. How do you think fathers who see those kind of things, of course many of them are also the enablers, but now they see these things, how do you want them to look at their girl child and see that she has the full potentials to live a life of purpose and then afford her the education that she deserves? So we need to begin to beat down these things and institutionalize them in our laws. Can women enjoy equal rights wherever they are, even in their marital homes?
Okay, I want to take this as your last word. Outline some of the economic benefits of investing in girls' education and how this investment can leverage to drive sustainable development and growth.
I mean, the economic benefits are enormous. The mere fact that everybody in a society is able to, apply themselves equally yields the society. It benefits the society.
Of course.
And even if that girl grows up to become a mother who is not, given to maybe white collar jobs or some sort of entrepreneurial engagement, the mere fact that she may even contribute to shaping the minds of the next generation also fuels, the potentials for economic growth in the society.
Thank you very much, Choma. Thank you very much. What is your own last words to the society?
Don't underrate the girl child. It may be the savior sent to the family.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate and I celebrate both of you. My warmest appreciation to our distinguished guests here with me for sharing their wealth of knowledge on today's program. And thank you so much to our amazing viewers for staying with us. Without you, I can't do this alone. Let's remember that education is a fundamental human right and it's essential for empowering girls and women. We must work together to address the challenges facing education and girls' empowerment because quality education is a catalyst for emotional intelligence and social skills. It equips individuals with tools to contribute meaningfully to the society. Let's pledge to support initiatives that promote inclusive and equitable quality education for everyone. Viewers, we have come to the end of today's now streaming program on ACNNTV. We come your way again next week, same time with another beautiful story and same station. Do have a lovely weekend and stay safe. I remain Princess Clement. Bye for now.